This video is intended to help you with navigating the University Library website effectively and efficiently so that you can locate all of the resources that you'll need to complete your assignments this semester. Most of you probably have experience using the library website. However, you may not know all of the features that are available to you or how to best use them so that you can really locate the research that you need. So what I want to do is just step you through some of the features, explain sort of what they do, and make some recommendations to you as far as what you may want to look at when you're trying to find resources. One of your chapter readings for this week does a really good job providing information about search strategies, and I'm not going to go through that material because I think it's really self-explanatory. That chapter reads sort of like a manual, and it really steps you through, this is what you should do, here are strategies. So I don't want to go through all of that content. My advice would be to just refer back to that chapter as you need to throughout the semester, because there really is a lot of good information in there. Of course, you also are welcome all throughout the semester to contact me if you're having any difficulty locating resources. And you also know how to contact our library liaison, Mr. Alex Watson, and there are also a lot of other reference librarians who are available to you. And you can contact someone at the library through chat, through calling them, through emailing them, as well as stopping by. So I just want to show you a few of the basic features, and anything beyond that we can certainly work on if you just contact me or contact a librarian. So when you access the library homepage, this is what it looks like, and you'll see there are a lot of options available to you. Where you'll likely get started would be here in the Search Library Resources, or possibly over here in the Quick Links. So if we just get started here, the default button for the Search Library Resources is OneSearch or Summon. What OneSearch does is, as it indicates, it searches all of the articles, books, digital collections, and more that are available through the library. Now, to some extent, this can be useful because if you want to know just in general how much information is available about a topic, if you go to search that topic, Summon or OneSearch will pull up everything for you. Of course, though, the disadvantage of this is that it can get really overwhelming. So if we take the sample topic, course evaluations, and then we search, you'll see that there will be a lot of results. Okay, so here we're getting over 1 million results. So you have some options from this point. One is to use the limiters that are available to you on this side so that you can narrow the results. And then of course another would be to use more specific search terms, to use some of the Boolean keywords like and, for example, or to just go back to the home page and try and go in through another resource. So let's say that we want to try and define our results a little bit more in this OneSearch or Summon feature. So since you know that all of your resources this semester need to be scholarly, and especially what you're looking most for are peer-reviewed publications, one thing you can do is click this button for Limit Articles for peer-reviewed publications. So we'll do that and we'll see our results are being updated. So that takes out a lot because we went from about 1,400,000 results to not quite 800,000 results. But of course, that's still way too much. So we could also go under content type. We could select journal article here. All right, and that's going to knock it down a little bit more, but we still have a lot. So another option, we could go to this publication date and we could identify a more narrower timeline. So let's say that we want to look at research published within about the last 5 years. And even though it's 2013, I'm going to set it at 2007 just because we're only in January and publications, depending on the journals, aren't out yet, or if they are out, we may not have access to them yet. So let's say we just set it to 2007 to present and then we click to update. So that's taken out more than half of our results already. But again, there's no way that you're going to be able to look through 316,968 results. Another option is to go in through these subject terms, and you'll see this feature in a lot of different databases. What it does is it pulls up for you various sort of subcategories associated with the topic you're researching. So this can be really useful if you're not quite sure of search terms that you might want to use or how to get more specific in your search terms. A lot of times you can just click the subject terms feature and it'll pull up for you a long list. Now you may have to click more like I did to see the full list, but it can be really useful for you. So what we could do is, if we know specifically what we're trying to find in relation to course evaluations, we could come in through here, and of course we could click to include or to exclude features, and that could help us to limit our results a little bit more. But you can see that even then, we're still going to be pulling up thousands of results. These numbers are showing you how many results we have for each of these sort of subcategories. And again, when we're talking about having results that are in the thousands, that's still really too high for you to be able to kind of go through those. So you need to have a more effective way of searching. So again, that is one of the potential problems of using the OneSearch feature, is you're going to pull up a lot of information, which is good to tell you that that information is out there, but it's not very helpful for you in terms of a really streamlined search. So let's say that we decide we're going to go back to the home page and we're going to try searching something else again. So if we want, we can look for books about course evaluations, and that's what our catalog button will focus on. So it will pull up for us any of the books that are available, and you can see that we only have 14 results, which is pretty manageable. However, these results are obviously covering a wide range, so depending on what you're looking for, you may or may not find this so useful in terms of actually locating the material you need. And again, for the most part, you really want to be looking for academic journal articles. Another option would be to click this articles button that's right here, and you can see it will search for articles in newspapers. So we can try typing in course evaluations and search and just see what comes up. And it should be fewer results than what we had with OneSearch, but you see it's still really high, right? So again, these aren't necessarily the most effective search strategies and tools for you to use. You likely will not be using this button because this is searching the library website with Google Custom Search, so this isn't really going to pull up the resources that you need. Now, one way that you can really streamline your search, especially because you know that your topics should be topics of interest and relevance to your specific disciplines, is to go over here to the quick links and click subject guides. What subject guides is that basically a lot of different guides, which are sort of long list of resources that librarians have pulled for you. These resources have been gathered and they focus on a particular topic area. So after you click subject guides one time, you unfortunately have to click it again here. But what's going to come up is a list for you of different disciplines. And more than likely, your major is probably listed on here somewhere and maybe bundled with something else, but it's probably in here, okay? So let's say that we are in communication sciences and disorders. So if we click on this link, it's taking us to the subject guide, and all of the subject guides will include the librarian contact. That's the person who's responsible for that guide. And this is really useful because you have their name, you have their email, and you could also look them up and find the phone number to contact them. But if this is your particular subject area and you're having difficulty locating a resource for an assignment, you know exactly which reference librarian to contact. Now you can contact the other ones as well, but this person is considered to be knowledgeable in this area, or at least responsible over this area. So again, this is really useful information to have. Now, what you'll also see in the subject guide is that databases have been pulled for you, and there usually is a brief description of the database up under it that will tell you sort of what the focus is of that database, what it contains. And you can also get a good idea from that whether or not this is a scholarly database or a database that will be more professional. So for example, if you were in law or you were in paralegal studies, something like that, some of those databases are going to be more profession-oriented than academic-oriented. But nonetheless, if you go into the subject guide, you're going to have this convenient subject-specific database list that you can consult. The subject guides also tend to have some additional kind of supplemental information. So here you see that Ms. Dennis has pulled for you some additional databases and even included some guides to APA style, since that would be the style used in this particular discipline. So let's say that we decide we want to search the Cochrane Library database. So it will prompt us to log in, and unless you happen to be accessing this from like the library, for example. You'll have to log in. But here we're at the Cochrane Library database, and keep in mind databases, usually they share certain features, but their layouts aren't identical. So for this particular database, we have the search feature right here, or you could try an advanced search. I'm going to show you some other databases that look a little bit different, but I think you get the general sense of how you would kind of navigate through this. So I've shown you the subject guide listing. There are also other documents available, such as topic guides, that may or may not be useful. It really depends on what you're looking for. And obviously, when it comes to the topic guide, there are a lot of different topics you could research. So this list is fairly short. It's not as comprehensive as it could be, so I don't know how useful that will be to you. One thing you can do, if we get back to the home page, is you can also try clicking databases here. And what you can do is, if you know the name of a specific database that you want to search, you could certainly go ahead and choose it from here. One database that I recommend to everybody whenever you're getting started, just to see what's out there, but you may actually find some really good information for your particular topic, is Academic Search Premier. And the reason I recommend this is because it is a more general database, but it covers a lot of different databases. So Academic Search Premier, it's really broad, and so it pulls in databases from all subject areas. So if we type in our subject term, course evaluations, right, and click search, so you'll see that we have, and actually the bar isn't far enough for you, you'll see that we have 21,486 results, okay? And this is covering a span from 1865 to 2013, although of course there's not probably literature that far back in here for that. But again, we have our limiters on the side that we could use to help narrow our focus. But one thing that you'll notice is that this does cover, again, a wide range of disciplines, because here we have a non-medical journal that we're getting a result from, Scandinavian Journal of Caring Sciences, Asian Social Science, etc., and College Student Journal. So it's a good place to start, at least, especially if you just kind of want to know what's out there, and you may even find it useful in terms of providing resources that you actually want to incorporate in the paper. So I'm just going to try updating this by selecting scholarly journals and setting our timeline a little bit. So that puts our results down to 18,600. Again, we would need to be able to define our results a bit more. But this is starting to show you how getting into more specific databases, more specific resources, can make this a much more useful search for you. And again, the information that was in your chapter will be really useful to you also as you're starting to navigate through that. Another option is to go to Journal Finder, and so what you could do is you could search for journals by your specific discipline. So let's say that we are in accounting. Okay, so we can type in accounting here, and we can search for any journals that have accounting in the title, and these are our results. So it's showing that there's one listed at accounting, but then we have accounting, accountability, and performance. We have one. So if we click on it, what it'll do is it will show the holdings that we have, and we're able to tell from this that this is in print, and we see the years that are available and know how to go there. So what's useful about that is if you know the specific journal that you want to go to, then what you can do is just specifically locate that journal in the system. And let me see if I can find one that's electronic. And then you're able to actually just go directly to it. Yeah, so this is an e-journal. You're able to go directly to it and start looking in a journal, which is going to provide a lot fewer results for us. So this is an example of a journal homepage, okay? And what we would do is we would search here for whatever our keyword is, whatever our topic is, or you could browse by subject, okay? So again, I'm just wanting to show you a few of the tools that are available to you. That chapter that you read for this week, you really do want to go back to it and use it to help you. But for the most part, I think that this provides you with some good tips, some good strategies for some of the resources you want to use, and maybe other resources that you won't find as helpful to you. If you have any questions, please let me know, and of course our reference librarian is available to help you as well.